said, the real estate market is changing crazy. There's a new offer formula. And if this is it, here's the fun part. There's not a new offer formula. Whatever offer formula your guru says, it's broke. It's trash because they don't know how to wholesale in a bad market. When it comes to offer formulas, and
wait, these the same people that said the market's fine, buyers are stable, they're actually growing. There is no hiccup. I'm like, okay.
Here's the thing.
Let's not look at the data.
Some of these gurus are saying everything is now 70% of ARV. And I do want to dispel this myth, and I see it all the time. If you have a house that is worth $400,000 right now, and now maybe it's worth $370,000, are your sellers going to take a 70% discount on that? Never. They're never going to. What's a 70% discount on that? That's going to be, that means if a house is worth to a cash buyer right now, a cash buyer will pay $300,000 for the house. You're telling me the minimum you can offer them is $259,000? That is a $110,000 assignment profit. Yeah. That is your minimum profit per deal is $110,000. These gurus are shook.
Yeah, you're gonna get this. Listen, you do this in Florida,
but that's your max. That's your max allowed.
You'll be destroyed.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
I saw a guru today. I watched the video. I'm like, the most I'm allowed to offer is 70%.
So
it's ridiculous. So here's the thing. With our offer formula, guess what changes? Nothing. But here's the thing. When let's say real estate goes down 50%, the offered formula doesn't change. You know why? Because ARV changes. The problem you guys are having, which these gurus have to change their offer formula, is because you guys sometimes are doing it wrong, where you have the ARV and your comps are from 8 months ago. That's when you have a problem. That's why the gurus are making you 70% on that. Like,
because the data is it's 90 days in arrears.
If you do comps from within a short amount of time or how recent sales are, that's going to help you out, or what the current on-market properties are
in the last 30 days, and figure that's the peak of it. But guys, here's the reality. I've seen this, like the offer thing beat to death. The 70%, like
for cheap houses,
how do I sell this? How do I sell this nicely? You get a monkey to like do that formula. Like that's a no-brainer. That's like if I have a Rolex watch and it's brand new and say it's worth $5,000, you go, listen, I'll give you $3,000 for it, right? Okay.
It's no-brainer.
So here's an offer formula. I've always worked with it. Okay. You get into you have to meet with each seller. Every seller is different, and not every seller is taking a 30% discount. So I meet with them. I evaluate it. I look at the property. I look at their situation. The more motivation, the better. And then we look at the comps and we come up with a range. And then we have cash buyers, which you should already know what they expect to pay. And guess what? If there is a gap in there and I can eliminate my risk, wholesaling works. 70% only works if like you're buying the property, you're going to hold it and rehab it. You have to protect your interest. I get it. Wholesaling, guys, dude, it doesn't work. There's very few proproperties I buy at 70%.
I don't even agree with that. You know why? Because if a seller has a house that's worth to a cash buyer right now $370,000, right? No seller is going to give up and sell it for $259,000. They're really not.
It's not. Like, guys, if they're doing that, show it to me, because I'm like, they're not doing it in Florida and other parts of the states.
They're not doing it in Georgia. They're not doing it in Tennessee. They're not doing it in Arizona. They're not doing it anywhere. But what I could tell you is they're not doing 70%. 70% does work on certain. So if your house, the ARV is 75,000, then we get it, because when your ARV is like 75 grand, then 70% of that is a $20,000 reduction. You're making $20K on a $70,000 house. That actually makes sense.
So you guys understand, when the number gets bigger on a percentage, that difference becomes much larger. It's just a percentage.
What's $1 million house? 70%. That's a $300,000 assignment fee. Sellers aren't doing that. I'm just
like, that's like saying, listen, I did 1 deal this month. I did 2 the second month. I have 100% increase, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing.
That's the problem, is the numbers as they get bigger is more of a disparity. Guys, listen, 70%, I can have a computer push a button. I'll take any deal you got for 70 cents on the dollar. And that's not even my highest offer.
Anything.
It's ridiculous.
I will gold for 70 cents on that guy. It doesn't work like that. The point here is the people that are saying this don't run legit businesses. And I'm saying this truthfully, because if you have a legit business and you tell your acquisitions person, hey, like I'm training my acquisitions person, 70% is the most you can offer them, which means you probably have to lock it up. This is a $300,000 house for 60% of that.
Yeah.
Come on. Like you have to lock it up for 170.
I'm sorry, you'll starve in this business. I'm not saying I do get some like that, but for the most part, what if it's 73%? I can't buy it.
You can't do it. I'm only going to make
76%.
I'm going to make 80K profit. I can't do it. It's too low.
So then, like, I hear them saying that a rehabber's expectation, someone you sell it to, they expect to make 10% profit on the deal. I'm like, okay, I don't completely like.
That's
I've
decent.
I've seen some go as low as like 6-7%. I've seen some as high as 20.
Yeah, 10% is decent though. Not bad.
Listen, I'll sell properties all day long on that.
If I can make 40K profit and I buy it for 400,000 and I flip it, that's average.
But what we're telling you is most coaches and gurus, they've never been in a down market. So for the last really 7 to 8 months, I told you this market's not dropping. They're all like, everything's perfect. I've listened to it all. And at some point, you got to look at the data. When you have the Federal Reserve inching up the Fed rate, it has to have an effect on the market. You can duck your head in the sand and say everything's perfectly fine, most likely because you got to push a product. But the reality is some things go up and down. Most coaches have only been in this market on an up basis, and they're completely guessing. Hopefully they're relying on people that have been in this business 20 years plus, but there's going to be corrections. How much the correction is, I don't even know. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. But if you're going to drop your buying creative down to 70% max, you might as well just pack it up and like go open a flower shop, in my opinion.
But what I'm saying here is don't
70%.
So the way you're saying it, it's not scary. Like it's not like we're not trying to scare you when we say like, guys, when we say a down market, it could be 20%. Prices go down 20%. Prices have gone up 50% since I've had this YouTube channel. So that means prices are still going to be way more higher than anything you've seen. But so like just FYI, guys, it's insane. But like everyone's freaking out that the world's going to end. Guys, it ain't going to end. Okay. I'm just letting you know, if prices go down 25%, you will make the same or most likely more money than you did before. The problem comes when a guru who legit doesn't do deals anymore, they spend all day on their private Zoom. They spend all day on their private Zoom of how to wholesale. I don't know why your phone's going. I put it on silent. That's crazy. Whatever. I know it's crazy. Here, I could just mute it.
You're gonna slam it against the wall.
No, I'm gonna mute. I could mute it. Here, let me put on do not disturb. All right, you're fine. All right, where's do not disturb on here? Whatever, I got it.
Isn't it funny? Like they threw out the 70% model like during their big run, and now they're telling you got to bring it back.
No, a lot of gurus kept it. But what I can tell you, you're fine now.
I probably won't really
they don't
anything on.
No, it's fine. What I'm telling you is these gurus, they add the 70% because they think that's what's going to work now because they've never been through anything. And what I can tell you is, yes, real estate might go down 25%, but these gurus and a lot of people sometimes act like this, that real estate's going to go down 25% in a day. It's like 1% every other week for a year straight. Like it's not like instant, right? No. It's not instant, right? It's everyone thinks like it's like the stock market that it goes to whoosh. No, okay. At most I've seen on real estate, and this is the history of real estate in the United States, 5% a month is like pushing it for a year straight. But that's usually doesn't even happen.
A long time.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But the worst case scenario real estate can really have, this is worst. Like the United States goes to war, and there's a world war, bad stuff's happening. We're at 5%. Real estate goes down 5% every month for a year straight. That was like 2008 times 10, right? It's not going to happen. But it might go down 1% for a month for a year straight. And for 2 years, it might go down 1% until it hits 25%, which that might happen. Guess what? It's just hilarious. But
if you're buying at today's value, if it goes down 1 or 2% and you're wholesaling, it's not going to make a difference.
You lock it up for lower.
If you guys switch to the 70% model, you're out of business because you have to do deals constantly to feed your pipeline, because this is what we do for a living. And it's it's a very corporate type of rule. I've been in this business a long time. I'm telling you, real estate goes up slowly and it goes down even slower. I said right here on this channel, by the fall into the year, we're going to feel some pain. Why? Because it takes time. I know it takes 6 to 12 months to wash out.
Wholesalers don't feel the pain. It's the owners that feel the pain.
You know who feels the pain? People that have only been in this market in complete up cycles. And now they're just guessing. So let's pull the panic switch. I heard someone said that basically the whole market's falling apart. You need to do this and that. I'm just like,
it's funny.
It's guys, we have some soft spots. Don't get me wrong. Inventory is going up. Mortgage rates are going up. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out what's going on here. So here's the deal. 2023 will be a down year, but like by the end of the year, it's going to be picking back up again. It doesn't matter if you're wholesaling. It doesn't matter. You can do it at the tippy top. By the way, do you think people made money in wholesaling the last 2 or 3 years? Yes or no?
Everyone did.
Yeah, that was at the tippy top. Same thing happens at the very bottom and all along the points in between. What we're saying is values move. You just got to be more educated and closer tied to your values. If you change your offer rate, you're trying to insulate yourself and protect yourself. That only works if you're doing flipping, long terms, like you're doing some sort of speculation. Wholesaling is risk adverse. That's the whole purpose of why you do it. So 70%, if you want to do like 1 out of every 500 deals,
I'll tell you this.
Go for it.
I'm gonna get in trouble saying this, and
do it. Then.
I've gotten in trouble so many times. I don't know. I don't get in trouble. You know. I don't live with you. You can't put me in my room. But here's the truth.
Lock the door.
There is not one guru out here promoting the 70% model. So every single guru right now currently that's promoting that 70% model, every single one, and I'm not stuttering when I say this, has not posted an assignment check this past month. None of them. What does that mean? They don't wholesale for real. And when they don't know what wholesaling is, they're out of touch with reality because they don't run a real business.
Yeah.
Because if they run a real business, like if we start doing the 70% model because the guru told me, I'd be like, wow, we're going from 15 deals a month to 4. What's going on? Yeah. Oh, all the sellers are not okay with the 70%. I'd be like, oh, we need to switch this. So when I go on a live, I'd be like, well, it's not working, guys. Guess what? They don't run a legit business. They don't know what works. They don't know if 90% works. They don't know if 60%. They don't. So the ones that are broke, they don't wholesale at all. They promote the 70% because they don't wholesale for real. I run a legit business. We do virtual wholesaling everywhere. We know what works. We do everything around the country. I know what works and what doesn't. The 70% rule, the people that are promoting it don't ever post checks that they do because they're fake. They're gurus. What do you expect?
Well, listen, if over my 20 years, if you go back and look what I contract properties and what the value was at the time, dude, I mean, the numbers all over the board. Like I can give you averages. I'd tell you less than probably 2 to 3% of them were 70% or less. So that means I would have missed out on 97% of my business. And guys, keep in mind, I did this in 08, 09, 10, 11, and 12. What was that? The values were severely down. But if I offered 70 cents a dollar on everything, it wouldn't have worked. So you just got to be more in tune with the comps in your market or the market you're doing. I don't care if it's locally or virtually, and just stay in touch and understanding prices are coming down. So you can anticipate the number. But please do not be talking to your customers about buying property 70 cents on the dollar, because they will never, ever even go for that theory, even if they decided on that number. So talk about the numbers, talk about the comps. I see a lot of you guys posting, what's the right number? Every market's different, okay? Some people got away in the high 90s in this last run.
Well, we do have one. So I will say it is never changed for a while. 70% works for ARV minus repairs multiplied by 70% of ARVs below 120,000. That usually works really well. Correct. And that's
because they're smaller numbers.
But that's hard too.
Account for the
sometimes
numbers.
It's even 75. Like it's weird. Like when the house is like 100.
But what if somebody's at 71? Are we going to kick them? Like it's not. There's just some things that you can't.
Yeah, but so it's 70% there. It's about 80% when it gets above 120 to maybe 200, 250-ish. It's a moving number. It really is for every market.
Wholesaling, you should know what your buyers are going to pay for it. And remember, If there's a spread and you can minimize your risk, take it down.
And then 83% is usually 250 and above.
Yeah.
Once you start hitting 300, you're going to have to be at 84, 85%. But it's insane. These gurus that try their little percent, because they just don't wholesale.
But these are the same people who said there's no change. Everyone's buying. Guys, all this stuff's recorded. You go back and check it yourself. I said there's going to be a downward trend, but you can't predict exactly where it is. And the thing is, like anything else, you can't overreact to a market. You can't. Real estate moves slow. It moves slow. Motivated sellers, you have to move fast. That's what we teach you to. But like let me ask you, if you're off 2% on your comp, is it really going to make that big of a difference? Because how long are you going to own that? First of all, you're not technically own it. You have the rights to the contract and you're selling the contract. And we teach you can get out of the contract if it doesn't work.
Within the inspection period.
So what's the things we're doing different now? We have more flexible terms when we write our contracts because we got to make sure that we can get the thing sold for the right price. So this 70%, I used to laugh at it back in 2003. And now I got people that have never been in a down market going to tell me exactly this is how you need to do it, even though I've got no experience doing it. It's reckless and it's careless because if you averaged out what these people actually did, they're probably going to be anywhere from like 76 to 84, 85% on their discounts. And now they're telling you to change it. Change it. It's going to put you on the sideline for the next year and a half.
It drives me crazy.
So guys, 70%. I thought it was nuts when I was taught that in 2003. And I only got a few deals off that number. And the more I said, listen, if I can make a profit and minimize my risk, I'm going all in on this. And so, guys, do not hang your number on a percentage. I never sit there and calculate the percentage. I only calculate my profit and I correlate it with my risk. So you can either be a mathematician, which is, if you're a wholesaler, you shouldn't be. You need to be a people person, someone that can solve problems. That's what you want to do. That's how you make money. When you start getting set in boxes, you're going to get killed in this business. Okay. As values go up, and they're going up in every state, the disparity gets bigger with the percentages. And a lot of gurus aren't teaching this stuff. You just have to stay in touch with the comps. So if I know comps are trending down, then I know that like this is the highest it's going to get, and it's only going to go down from here. So once you understand that, for the most part across the entire country, prices are leveling out or they're dropping.
But it's not the end of it. It's like maybe 5-10%, but like the cost of real estate. So
people are not just going to leave these states, these very high metro areas. They're going to have more options.
But you can get better discounts than the buyers find. So the last statement here before we get some more one-on-ones, I do want to mention, I do want to make a statement, and I'm a visual learner. So I do want to give things to the visual learners, but I do want to explain, guys, that
you've got like memorization down though.
These gurus are trash.
Okay.
Trash. Their offer formula is trash. So understand that.
It just like, you can't run a business based on percentage of what you're going to offer. The whole business model of wholesaling is to find a difference on what your cash buyers will pay, what you contract it for, and minimize your risk. It was never designed on a 70% model. That model, for full clarity, was offered under the fix and flip world. Ready for this? Under the whole Carlton Sheets and everybody else. That was a 70s and 80s models. And somehow, what are we?
1972, this book.
We're here 50 years later, and now we're going to refer back to this model.
George Bach was buying houses in Detroit for $4,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Different time. All right. So I'm just FYI. Okay. We were buying houses in Miami for $15,000. Like, sure, 70% works, but like these gurus, they just don't know.
So guys, instead of doing a percentage offer formula, which I've never done because it's all over the board. If I tell you 70%, it doesn't fit, it means you're not going to do a lot of deals.
We do have one.
If I tell you 85%, how about this? Find stuff that has a spread in it and you minimize the risk. You have a guaranteed buyer, and then you set a minimum profit level. It's really that simple.
But you can do that. So what I will tell you though, straight up, is our formula does work. And that's when I do recommend the 70, 80, 83, 85, but it still does change a little. So it just drives me crazy. And then the last thing I'll tell you about our offer formula, and I've not wavered once on this because I know it legit works. The same gurus tell you it's ARV multiplied by 70% minus repair cost, which is like such a weird way to multiply it because that's not how cash buyers look at it, right? oh, I want to get a percentage off the ARV. No, cash buyers want to get a percentage off of what the thing's worth
Right.
because they care about their spread. So when I there's one guru that did like one did 80%. So they did ARV minus 80% minus repair cost minus wholesale fee. Like, hold up. Your wholesale fee should be something, but like if my wholesale fee is 1,000, I'm taking it. If my wholesale fee is 100,000, I'm taking it. I don't care. It's a fugazi. It's a fake number, right? It's an imaginary number in the air. Until a cash buyer signs the assignment, it doesn't work. So guys, it drives me crazy because what is a house worth? ARV minus repairs, right?
That's it.
ARV is what the house is worth on the market right now today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it needs a $25,000 roof, let's take 25,000. That's what the house is worth on the market, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but like that's what works. It's crazy when a guru says, no, you have to take ARV minus. No,
Guys,
because a cash buyer's
yeah.
like, what's this thing worth on the market?
Yeah.
I want to buy that for 25% off of it. And then they're okay with it. Just these gurus drive me crazy.
Guys, do not like, you can sit here and play with the numbers all you want. You got to talk to people, find motivation, find a spread, find a solid cash buyer that you vetted, see what your difference is, minimize your risk, and then you can move forward. I've done deals, ready for this, that made me a whopping $1,500 because I had zero risk. And so according to that formula, I would have never done it. Now, back then I had to take what I can get. Now, there's some things I won't look at anything under like 25 grand, only because I've been doing this 20 years. In the beginning, guys, I looked at everything. I didn't care.
Well,
like,
our team has to look at everything.
Correct. So it's about minimizing
Yeah.
risk. Wholesale is always about minimizing your risk. If you're going to buy off of a 70 or 72% number, that was designed for rehabbers and flippers that were speculating for the long haul because they have to anticipate long times between market changes. Wholesaling, we don't have that. The most you have usually is 30 to 45 days. And the most that property can change is 1 or 2%. And if you're buying on that thin of margins, it's probably not a good wholesale deal anymore. So let's just end this debate. Let's be practical. We can sit here on the weeds on numbers all the time. Unless they share their average discount over the last 10 years, or maybe over the last year that they've been wholesaling, because a lot haven't been.
They won't
doing
post a check. They won't post a check. They don't do this business for real.
You just don't see it. So it's, I don't know. Let's move on. Let's help